As for who won, well, let's just say the EBU and contest organizers had no rules on tiebreakers yet. What we ended up getting were 4 winning songs. Euro Logomachist, the world's favorite sleeveless Eurovision website, comes back for another one, as it's time today to discuss the contest in 1969. So the last year of the 60s gave us a rocky Eurovision Song Contest, and this in itself followed another controversial one in which Franco's Spain won under circumstances which are today considered questionable. We are not going to level any allegations, but they exist, and if you watch the video that we did on 1968, you know what they are. So how did the contest go this year, you ask? Differently than any contest before it, and after it, if we're being honest with you, but more on this in a little bit. First, as we always do, it's time for some housekeeping items to let you know how we score, how we rate, how we rank, and what it all means. Over the course of a few years, we developed the rubric that you see before you. We use the major categories that the EBU specifies its jurors should focus on at the contest, but we assigned our own proprietary weights. We have a lot of questions and scores that feed into it, so the rankings you will see take many factors into consideration. Why? Because we want to identify the best Eurovision songs ever, and the best songs will be good in many different areas. Now, we will have our scores and the juries will have theirs. Were the juries right, or did they overrate or underrate a song? This is where we wheel in the Euro Logomachist meter of judgment for 1969. In the past, we referred to it as the Deservo meter, but here on new name, same sassiness. What does it do? It tells you exactly what we just said, if the juries got their calls right or wrong, and whether the fate a song received was deserved or not. On the low end, we could say that a song was very overrated, but on the high end, we can and would say that a song deserved much better. Just remember, the meter knows all. Let's roll into the notes on the Eurovision Song Contest 1969, which was the 14th contest in history. This was held in Madrid, Spain, and as of 2026, this is the only contest which has ever been held in Spain. Sure, there has been a junior Eurovision held there, but not adult Eurovision since 1969. So this was the first and only ESC ever held in España. Spain did not participate in 2026, so it will be until at least 2028 for the next time they will host. If you watch this in 2040 and Spain has won since, then yes, I will be happy for them. The date of the contest was Saturday, the 29th of March, 1969. It seems early today, but it was not especially early for Eurovision back in those days. It was customary for the contest to occur in March or April. It wouldn't be until the 1980s that most of them were held in May. This one wasn't even the earliest one, as in 1957, that one was on the 3rd of March, whereas around that time in the modern era, you'd still have national finals happening. Then again, it was nowhere near the spectacle it is now, and even the national finals were on a much smaller scale. 16 countries participated in the contest, which was down 1 from the year before, and 2 less than the high water mark at this point, which was 18. Austria, who were there in 1968, dipped out in 1969. The contest will slim down some more before a bunch of faces return and a new country debuts in 1971. As for who won, well, let's just say the EBU and contest organizers had no rules on tiebreakers yet. What we ended up getting were 4 winning songs. We will get into who those are as we go through Euro Logomachist rankings of the 16 songs. But to call it a mess would be charitable. Those are your introductory notes, so how about we dig into the rankings? You may have watched our past reviews, and in those, you'd know that we show you our all-time scoreboard at the beginning and the end. Well, we're going to do things a little differently this time. Here is the all-time scoreboard going into the 1969 contest. It's going to be on screen with me for much of this video, and we're going to update it live. So let's add a little suspense and intrigue. After each year, we assign points to our top 10 entries and tally them on the all-time scoreboard. Following 1968, the United Kingdom pulled ahead of Italy with 93 points all time, while the Italians now occupy second place. Switzerland, France, and the Netherlands all occupy the top 5 for the time being. You may know this is a wild contest, so be sure to watch until the end to see how things change on the new scoreboard. 10 countries will receive points, but who will get our douze point? I know the answer, and you will too in about 20 minutes or so. We start at the bottom and work our way to the top at number 16, our last place song for 1969, which receives no points. Once again, it's Luxembourg. They were last in 1968 for us and last again in 1969. Sorry, everyone. Things are going to get a lot better for you in the 70s, I promise. Anyway, this song was called Catherine, and it was performed by Rumwald, who had represented Monaco in 1964. I thought that song was dull, but while I didn't find this one dull per se, it certainly wasn't as exciting as some of the other ones from this contest. In fact, the note that I wrote about this song was that it could have been an email. It was the only one that got fewer than 500 points on our scorecard, which also tells you that despite the controversies, this was actually a pretty good year in its own right. The song came in 8th for us on engagement, so I wouldn't call it boring, but it didn't hit on anything else. 15th in overall impression, 13th in vocals, and 15th in composition. I've heard this song at Eurovision a number of times, and I will hear it again a number of times. It's just kind of played out. We turn now to the meter to pass its judgment on the song, which finished in 11th place at the contest in Madrid. In the end, that's not close enough to where we think it should have finished. So the meter has determined that this song was slightly overrated. It didn't make the top 10, but even 11th was probably too good for it. Coming up in 15th place, we go now to Norway, and this was Kirsty Sparbo. Her song was Oi, 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 Så glad jeg skal bli, which means, oh, 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 I'm so happy. Good thing we don't score on the creativity of song titles. Sparbo was a Eurovision frequent flyer. This was her third and final appearance at the contest. And one thing you will note about Norway is even though they have some iconic acts over the course of the decades, they did reuse acts a lot. Even more recently, Alexander Rybak represented his homeland more than once. My notes on the scorecard for this said, annoying but endearing in a way. Sounds about right. This had an up-tempo beat and it was intended to be bright and pleasant, which her entries tended to be. It was my least favorite song in terms of overall impression, but at the same time, at least it had some energy. I also didn't think the vocals were bad. They weren't anywhere near the best in the contest, but they weren't anywhere near the worst either. The meter of judgment is now present and is ready to pass its verdict on this song, which came in dead last in 1969. With all due respect to Kirsty, a 3-time Eurovision performer, the jury's got this placement about right. To 14th we go, and the song we placed there was Yugoslavia. It was called Pozdrav Svijetu, or Hello World, in Croatian, performed by Ivan and Ems. My opinion of this song declined each time I listened to it. My first time watching 1969, I liked this a lot. Now, it's not that I don't think it's got a certain charm to it, but it has some obvious flaws that most of the songs ahead of it don't. The melody's pleasing and it's mildly catchy. He's singing about saying hello to people and singing good day and good morning to everyone. How nice. The problem is, the whole song is him singing good day and good morning to everyone. There's no development, no levels, no story, and no depth to the lyrics. Despite the pleasant melody, this ended up getting the worst composition score out of all 16 entries because of how weak the song is lyrically. Vocally, he did fine, but there were better. Sometimes just sounding nice isn't enough, and it wasn't for Yugoslavia this year. The meter of judgment is aware that the song in 1969 finished in 13th place. We had it in 14th. Really should not be that surprising that we think the jury's got another one right. So far, the juries are 2 for 3 on reasonable placement. Not bad. Already on to 13th, not quite earning points just yet. And this song belongs to Belgium. Here we have Louis Neefs, who's making his second Eurovision appearance with his Dutch language song, Jennifer Jennings. I did have to give him credit for that little move that he did right before the chorus. Just a little move, not a full-on dance break. You didn't get a lot of dance breaks in Eurovision songs in 1969, mostly because you couldn't, though that most certainly would not stop Spain, which you will see later on this list. Other than that, he had a nice deep voice, but the song wasn't that exciting. Even at that, I want to point out, I can see the score sheets now and into the future. Coming in 13th here near the bottom, but it got a score that would be good enough for top 10 in much bigger and more recent contests. So even though this really didn't keep up with the heavy hitter songs this year, it was a pretty decent year, and I would not call this song bad. With that said, this came in 7th at the contest. I thought they had better options for the top 10, a few of which we will get into soon, so I don't want to say this is slightly overrated. But the meter of judgment does. This one landed a little too high on the night in 1969. 12th is next, and there is where you will find Germany. The song title is Prima Ballerina, which needs no translation, and it was performed by Siv Malmkvist. If you watch some of the prior videos, you would know that she too is making a repeat appearance at Eurovision. She represented her native Sweden at the contest in 1960. This was another one that, much like the Belgian song before it, was fine, but he needed to do more in order to keep up with the songs up towards the top. Once we get to 8th place and up, these are stiff opponents. We had Malmkvist in the top 5 in vocals, but when this is compared to others, it just wasn't that great. Put it this way, there were better options in 1969. Another year which was less strong, and maybe this ends up higher in our rankings, but not this year. Germany finished in a tie for 9th at the contest, so this is a job for the meter of judgment to weigh if it landed where it should have. The juries had it low top 10, and we had it in the high non-top 10. At Eurovision 1969, the difference between them making and not making the top 10 was about 2 points. Not a very big margin. The juries were close enough. Now on to number 11 and the song which just missed the points in 1969. We had Sweden there, Judy Min Van, which means Judy, my friend. He's not talking about Judge Judy, of course, just some other person with that name that he knew. I actually kind of liked it on the whole. The lyrics told an interesting story of him falling for a friend and detailing some reasons why things wouldn't work out. Kind of a sweet song, but you can see on the screen why this didn't advance higher. We put engagement and vocals down towards the bottom. The song had a nice sound, don't get me wrong, but it was a little slow and I wanted more out of the vocals. Getting to the top of a Euro Logomachist scorecard means your song checks a lot of boxes. This one didn't check enough, so no points for Sweden. Like Germany, this one was also in a tie for 9th. We were not too far off of that, so if the meter of judgment says Germany was close enough, then Sweden is as well. Now into the top 10 and our countries receiving points. In 1969, at 10th, getting 1 point, this is Finland and their iconic song, Kun Silloin Ennen by Jarkko and Laura. That song title means like before. I love this, and I wish I could have found a way to drive this higher up the list. Nevertheless, we try to concoct a fair score for every entry, and 10th seems like it's a fair placement. I wish it were a little more exciting, and I wish the singing were better. If either of those had been the case, this would have stood out to me as one of Finland's better entries. Even at that, this is certainly one of their most memorable. The hats, the canes, and a really, really catchy song. Well, I wanted more out of this. This is the sort of song, this is what Eurovision's all about, right? Fun, goofy songs like this. Even though I couldn't squeeze out more points, I wouldn't change the thing about it. This song finished 12th at the contest in 1969. The meter of judgment steps in, and ordinarily, being just 2 spots off would be close enough. However, with this one, the meter has determined that this song deserves slightly better because I think a memorable song like this one should have gotten its top 10 flowers. On to 9th, getting 2 points from Euro Logomachist. This song is from Portugal. This one by Simão de Oliveira is called Desfolhada Portuguesa, which, if you don't speak Portuguese, this might be a little surprising. It means Portuguese corn husking. The song is about corn. I kid you not. I mean, the lyrics are anyway, if you take them literally. The song is really about love, but also corn. The lyrics are wild, talking about red maize, blonde wheat, pine roots. I mean, say what you will, but at least they didn't give us something boring and cliche. I gave the composition a pretty high score, but unfortunately, not a lot else. Vocals came in okay, and I liked her first song at Eurovision in 1965, but this a little less. It was also a little too slow, but I mean, unless you're from Nebraska, it's probably hard to get too excited and up-tempo about corn imagery. Now, this came in 15th at the contest, which is a crock of crap if you ask me. The meter of judgment agrees, as it determined that this song deserved a little better. Probably didn't deserve a lot better, but at least a little. In 8th place from Euro Logomachist, getting 3 points this year, we're giving that to Switzerland and Paula Del Medico. Her song was called Bonjour Bonjour, which you can probably figure out that this means hello, hello. A much different character to this song than the Yugoslavian song, which was called Hello World. That Yugoslavian song was a little bit plodding. This had an okay tempo, and it's kind of catchy. Very 60s, and I mean that as a compliment. The song was likable, so why did it not go higher? The vocals were one reason. In our scoring, we didn't think they were bad, but if you're looking at a ranking, remember, it's all relative. There just happen to be better ones. With regards to it being 12th in engagement, this was a year where there were some intense songs. The 4 winners, Ireland, Norway, and so forth, all had some authority. This was a tough year to get into the top 5 for sure. Fun fact about Paula, she represented Switzerland here in 1969, then again in 1980, and she would later perform as an interval act in 2025. That's a career that has truly spanned the Eurovision decades. As for the song in 1969, it came in 5th in the contest. The meter of judgment is weighing its options, and it's going to say that this finished about right. I liked this enough to feel like it wasn't overrated. 7 songs to go now, all still in black on the scoreboard here, and getting 4 points from us is Monaco. The song was called Mama Mama, or Mom Mom, by Jean-Jacques. Yeah, he was 12 years old when he performed this song. So we gave him a bonus point on our score sheet, and you know what? For 12, he sang great. Good for him. There were grown-ass adults in this contest who did not sing as well as he did. It might not have been one of my favorites, but he did some things right. He sang well, and the song itself is actually quite interesting. It's poignant, let's say. This is the thing about the evolution of the contest and music in general. In this era, songs were a lot more lyrically developed. They told stories. They made you think if you understood the source language. Songs in this era were less about the show and more about the music. A different time, to be sure. Not only that, but this was kind of a complex song to sing, and he did it pretty well considering his age. In 1969, Monaco finished 6th at the contest. We had it at 7th. Should come as no surprise that the meter of judgment thinks the juries were close enough. As for the song we had in 6th, getting 5 points, this is the first one of the contest's 4 winners. This is Spain, and it's Salome's song Vivo Cantando, or I Live Singing. Here's another fun quirk about the contest, which you already know had 4 winners. Everybody seems to rank them differently. You'll see where we have the other 3, but just because we have this ranked the lowest of the winners doesn't mean we think this was a bad song. On the contrary, Spain's second winning song was fun. Definitely a change up from the one that won in 1968, which had a pop energy, but this one was just energy. Salome wore a blue dress that was made of porcelain and was quite heavy, so it just makes it all the more impressive that she was able to shake and shimmy the way that she did. This was also one of the more upbeat songs. Hard to dislike this song. Sure, it wasn't the one with the best vocals, and lyrically it was a little bit lacking, but aside from that, there was a lot to like about Spain. You already know Spain won. They won in 1968 and 1969, and unfortunately for them, they haven't since. Well, keep trying, I suppose. As for the meter of judgment, we were a ways off, but you know damn well that we're not going to call this one overrated. We wouldn't dare. Let's just say it was about right and move on to the next one. Moving now into the top 5, getting 6 points. This is not one of the winners, at least not the winner this year. It's Ireland. The song was called The Wages of Love, and it was performed by Muriel Day and the Lindsays. Ireland found its answer to Sandy Shaw, though it didn't quite turn out the same. I was vibing with this song. It might not have had the best lyrics or vocals, or been as fun as Spain, but it was still fun. Fun fact, this was the first time Ireland sent a female lead singer to Eurovision. The 4 previous songs were all ballads by male singers. Ireland changed it up in 1969 and set themselves up for what would eventually be their first of many wins in 1970. They'd change it up again for that one. Dana's song was absolutely nothing like this one. That was cutesy and sweet, while this was energetic and bright. Well, she looks like she had a great time up there grooving to her own song. She did only finish in 7th, a tie for 7th, technically. We need to give the meter of judgment a chance to weigh in, and did this deserve top 5 placement? Yeah, it did, so we think this deserved a little better. In 4th place, getting 7 points from us, we have another winner. This is the Dutch song, De Troubadour, performed by Lenny Koer. It counts as a win, so at this point, it was the 3rd victory for the Netherlands, the first since 1959. I think this was hands down the best composition in the contest in 1969. It was unique, it was interesting, and most importantly, it was good. Granted, this is not the sort of music, being folksy and all, that I would go out of my way to listen to, but the talent was unquestionable. When you're doing what I'm doing, which is critical analysis of these songs, and granted, the analysis that I see on my end is way deeper than what I share. We got to keep these videos moving along. You have to be able to show respect to songs that are good, even if they aren't your style. This song is exactly that. It won in 1969 and we had it 4th, but the meter, again, is not going to say any of these winners are undeserving. So we think the jury's got it about right. Only 3 to go now, and you see them on your screen. 2 of them were winners, 1 was not, and the one which wasn't is the song we have in 3rd place. That belongs to Italy, and they're getting 8 points from us to take the lead briefly. If you can do math, you'll identify that the UK will jump them again, but Italy leads at the moment. The song is called Due grosse lacrime bianche, or 2 big white tears, by Eva Zanicki. This song, like several others here, is a Euro Logomachist top 400 entry. The juries didn't like this song, but I did. I actually liked it a lot. I think she sang beautifully. I mean, you could sing the phone book to me in Italian, and I'll probably like it, but she sang really, really well in Italian, not phone book. The song had a pretty distinctly 60s folk vibe. Not quite like the Dutch song. It was its own unique number. My only critique was that I didn't find it particularly engaging, but you can't win them all. Juries overlooked this song, putting it in 13th place. The meter of judgment is offended, and it has determined that this song deserved a much better fate than the cruelty it received. For shame. So, you see 2 songs left. The drama is our douze point song, France or the UK. If you must know, the song we have in 2nd, getting 10 points, is the United Kingdom. This is a Euro Logomachist top 100 song, and it's Boom Bang Bang by the iconic Lulu. This was one of only 2 songs we had that finished near the top of the chart in every category we measured. The sound was fun. She would go on to a long and prosperous career, and the UK won in 2 out of 3 contests. They'd tell you that they should have won in 3 in a row. But hey, look, Spain's song in 1968 was pretty good. Back to Lulu. She is an icon and she is the moment. This was definitely one of Britain's more memorable entries. As for the meter of judgment, it knows this song won and that we rated it in second. It's about where it should be. Can't argue with the song's success at all. It's deserved. Finally, you already know where our douze points are going, and it's France. 12 big points for Frida Bocara and Un jour, un enfant, or A Day, a Child. I'm going to say this now, and I do not say this lightly. This song is a masterpiece. Her performance was absolutely everything. It just pulled me in, and it's very emotional. I think this is one of the best entries France has ever sent to the contest. I think I have maybe one French entry ahead of it, which you will see in a future video. This is the very best France has to offer. We rated this at the top in overall impression and in vocals, and let's be honest, it deserved to be there. She crushed it. Sadly, Frida passed away in 1996 at age 55. She was taken from us far too soon, but we still have this incredible performance. Also, I think it goes without saying that the meter of judgment has reviewed our findings and determined that this song was very correctly a winner. Good job, France. La France. 12 points. So that's it. The UK will head into the 1970s with a 7-point lead over Italy. Switzerland's fallen back a bit, and France made up a good bit of ground. Ireland also made a move up, and I promise you, they will get to the other side of the scoreboard in the coming years. Let's take you back and review the top countries in each category in 1969. In terms of overall impression, France was at the top, followed by the UK, Spain, Ireland, and, surprisingly to some, Finland. When it comes to engagement, which is to say whether a song got our attention or bored us, Spain was the front runner, followed by the UK, France, Ireland, and the Netherlands. In terms of vocals, which is pretty self-explanatory, France was our clear winner. In second was Italy, followed by Lulu in the UK, Ireland, and Monaco. Finally, when we combined scores for composition and lyrics, we gave the top spot to the Netherlands, followed by the UK, Portugal, Italy, and then a tie between France and Switzerland. And now the end notes for the contest in 1969. Well, this one almost killed off the ESC. Going into a contest in Francoist Spain, there was already some hesitation, but then the massive cluster of a 4-way tie was allegedly a factor in 4 more countries pulling out of the following contest. Obviously, Eurovision rebounded or we wouldn't be discussing it, but at the time, the contest was about to shrink. By the way, they didn't have enough medals to give away during the tie, so the songwriters weren't presented with one. Of course, tiebreaker rules would be instituted later. While the 1969 contest might get a bad rap from some, and actually on my first watch, I wasn't crazy about it, there's actually some great music here. France's song is a favorite, but the British song is highly memorable. Finland's was 60s camp at its finest. And who can ever forget Salome dancing to her high-energy song in a blue porcelain dress? The contest grew on me a lot. As of the 2027 contest, this was Spain's last win. They're going on almost 60 years, possibly longer, by the time you discover this video. It's not for lack of trying, though. We've rated some very good Spanish entries in the 70s, 80s, and 90s that you'll someday see. Just none of them won the ESC. However, Spain did have one historical distinction here. They became the first country to win the contest in consecutive years. Other countries would do it a couple of times in the 70s, but Spain did it first. Too bad they haven't done it since. That was the 1969 contest, so it's on to the 70s now. For more critical reviews of old contests, stick around at Euro Logomachist, like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. We'll see you soon.